Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. This is my welder, Sabora Pocket Turbo 130 MIG, and to be honest it serves my purposes well. It's quite old. I bought it, if I said 25 years ago, I'm probably a little bit short on what it actually was. It was probably between 25 and 30 years ago. It still works okay. It's sitting on a very cheap, like a sack truck that I bought from Mart, which is a similar thing to sort of Harbour Freight or Princess Auto. And to be honest, it works really well. I put the handles that way round so that they don't stick out too far. And I put these horns on it to enable me to just drape the wires around. I turned around the sort of thing that you would lift things up with at the bottom, and I sit a gas bottle on there, held on by a little bit of bent angle iron. I replaced the casters because the casters broke. I bought a pair of casters and put those on. It works well, and in fact I'd highly recommend this as a simple and cheap welding cart. This is a bit of a leftover RSJ, and what I've been doing is putting that on there, clamping things to and welding things together. A chance find the other day gave me an idea, so I'll show you what that is. This is a sign, and this is the frame that the sign was attached to. It was a little sign. It was thrown in a skip, and I asked permission if I could have it, and they said yes. So I came away with this sign thinking this angle iron is good reusable stuff. So this cost me nothing other than the time to, cut it apart. So what I thought I would do is use these bits of angle iron to sort of supplement what's here already, to create a little platform on here that I can use for clamping stuff to and holding things, and thinking it might be useful for welding. In other words, instead of taking the welder to a table, you just put things on here and weld it. I went and filled up my gas bottle the other day because the last weld I did wasn't very good, so that's full. I've got a new spool of wire in case I need it, but I don't think I need it yet. But while I was at the welding supply place, I bought that. So the idea is I'll use these bits of angle, and I haven't worked out how I'm going to do it, but I've got ideas forming. I'll kind of mock up the basic idea. I just want a little flat platform. I might turn this piece around the other way so that the angle iron frame is this side, and then it will kind of make more sense. But I want to come up a bit higher than that. And the other question is, do I retain this or do I get rid of it? It's not very good, it doesn't fit very well. I could just make a whole new thing, but I haven't got enough angle iron to do it. I'll bring you back when I've thought about it. Back in a bit. Right, I've took the welder off, and I've took this piece off. So what I'm thinking, this will go like this maybe. I don't want the gas bottle hanging over the end too much in case you take the welder off and it overbalances. So that can go like that. What I'm thinking I might do is replace this completely with 4 new uprights. Okay, you kind of get the idea now. This isn't level. Instead of trying to correct that, what I've done is kind of correct the uprights. The uprights are vertical. I'm just using this to set those vertical. Obviously these want trimming down, so I need to sort out 4 pieces to go around there now. But my idea is that on these pieces here, the flanges will stick outwards like that, so that I can put a clamp on them. Okay, leave it with me while I do a bit of thinking and designing on the fly. Hello. I've been working away on the little stand here, and it's coming along okay, I think. I've tried to make all the legs vertical, and I've just put those 2 pieces along there, and when I sort of sight across the 2, they look like they're parallel. I don't know if you can see what I'm kind of thinking. You know, if you look along the 2 top pieces, I think they're okay. That's how it's looking. I might come and do a little bit more tomorrow. I might do a bit more now, I might do a bit more tomorrow, but that's how it looks at the moment. Back in a bit. Hello, welcome back to the garage. It's actually the day after, but I have come out to kind of carry on with the job. This is where I got to yesterday. The 4 uprights in place, a piece at the front, 2 pieces at the sides, one of which is in the side shed for grinding. I cut this one in a certain way so it kind of fits together here. Because this one is a different way round, because it's going to have the gas bottle leaning against it. I've taken the one off that fits there, because what I'm going to do is just cut it away. Like, imagine this one. I'm going to just cut it away so it can come this way, 2 wall thicknesses worth. So I'm going to cut it away on the inside, and it'll come to there, and then it'll finish this corner off nicely, and then I can just radius the corners and put a radius on there like that. And then I will look at you know, where I need to clean them up to start welding them together. Okay, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello. Okay, it hasn't changed much in appearance, but I've put this piece back in, trim the end. That looks okay, I think. So it's got a nice flat surface now on the top. If you kind of look across the top at a shallow angle, you can see it all kind of fits okay. Not that I'd really use that for jigging things up, but you know, it's a good start, isn't it? I might put some sort of cross pieces across, like that, you know, like I might get some more of these and just put some pieces across, like that, so that there's plenty of bits to clamp to. But I think generally it looks okay. I've just gone with a pen and kind of marked a radius on the corner, and marked there, and marked in there, and there, marked all the bits that I want to weld, so that I can just grind the minimum. Hello, I've put the trolley down on the ground, and I've ground everywhere that needs to be ground, and I've cleaned up some of the parts that were a bit rusty, and it's ready to weld now. So what I thought I would do is make it easy for myself by just welding these bits, those bits there, and then flip it upside down and weld the other bits, or flip it on its side, or do something with it. I've tried to make sure that everything is vertical in all planes. I checked it with a spirit level, with it sitting on the garage floor. This garage floor is relatively level, so this is parallel to the garage floor. Yeah, so we'll just get the welder fired up and run a couple of beads. Doesn't need to be anything fantastic, so hopefully I've got some fresh gas there, so it should work okay. I'm not a welder, but I do know that you don't want to kind of hover in mid-air like this. You want to brace yourself down to the table that you're using like this. I also know it's best not to lean on the bit you've just welded as well. These welds look better than the last ones I did, so I think my gas was running out. Okay, I still need the clamps on. I think it's a big advantage. I think it's a big advantage if you can get you know, a nice comfortable angle for each particular weld. Okay, right then. I'll just take it in there and do a quick bit of grinding. My grinding room. Or the side shed, whichever you prefer. And I will be back in a bit. Last remnants of a tin. Well, that's it, isn't it? Well, there you go, a little handy welding cart. It's the same welding cart as before, and I've just made a couple of little mods. What I might do is just drill a hole there or something so that this doesn't want to fall down. I've got other bottles that are different sizes that will fit on there. Where are they? Those bottles there. I've got two other bottles there. Those ones. So they'll both fit on. So I need some sort of adaptability. There's nothing to it really, is there? It's just an idea. I got fed up of this wobbling around. That was alright, but I just decided to change it. So that fits on quite nicely, and it's handy being able to just wheel it out, use it, and wheel it back. And it's a handy height to just grab hold of and move it. So yeah, there's my little welding cart with its top. And the idea is that you could clamp things to this. You could clamp stuff to that, and it's relatively flat and level. You know, good enough for sort of rough fabrication work. Could make a little wooden top for it as well. I might have to do something so that I can kind of stow the hoses and things a bit better. Not very happy with that at the moment, but they're always kind of in the way a bit. I'll see how it goes when I try and use it, and if I feel that I need to weld some pieces in, or even make like a drop-in piece with a vise on it, that might be handy, mightn't it? You just don't know, do you? But it's just a metal frame, so you can do anything you like with it, really. Okay, so there we go. Another little something for nothing job. Some free angle iron and a bit of time, and it just takes a couple of grinding discs and a bit of electric for the grinders. Hello, look, I've attached a vise to my little cart. This was my dad gave me this, I think, years ago. I think he was given it and then he gave it me. It's a relatively light duty 4-inch vise. It's a Welding. I just drilled and tapped a hole there in the frame, put a 10mm stud down through, locked it off with that, and it's only mounted on that one side there because I just put it like that so that for instance it doesn't need to be held down very tightly, because you wouldn't do any work in it. It'd just be for holding things while you're welding them, or you know, put a piece of metal in there while you're wire wheeling it or something, just as an alternative to putting stuff flat down on the deck. I left it with just the one mounting point so that you can kind of pivot it round like this. You could have it round there, or if you wanted to maximise, you know, the table, you could put it like that, or just undo it and take it right off. It's quite firm when it's in that position, and in that position you could put a piece of metal vertically down. Because, for instance, I don't have very big gaps between the cars, I wanted to have it so it doesn't really stick out like that. So that's its sort of parked position. So it's sort of, you know, doesn't stick out very far, there, but it's there, so it's ready to be used. It's just an experiment, might take it off, might leave it on. I wasn't using that vise for anything else, so it won't hurt to leave it on there. And the beauty of this is you could drill and tap holes at any point on it. I've just tightened that, I've just put that like that and tightened that up. Just a word of advice, if you're ever mounting a vise, you need to mount this jaw outboard of the edge of the table, so you can put vertical pieces down, but in this case I can swing it out. But I've tightened that up. Oh, I just went in with a grinder and just put a little notch in the corner there, so those things fit a bit better, less likely to slide down. And I've just draped the things in a certain way there, so it's all pretty well self-contained. I think that's okay, and if I need to do any modifications to it, I can just do them as and when required. Thanks very much for joining me in the garage then. Just a little bit of tinkering from Mart's Garage. Hello. I have just started doing a little welding job. It's only a rough little job. This is the remnants of what they used to call a bread tray, what the bakeries used to use to move the loaves, the trays of loaves around on. I've cut it down and I'm just about to weld this piece in, but the significance is I'm using this. This is the little table that I've fixed onto my welding cart, so this is the first time I've actually used it. I've took the vise off, which took a couple of minutes, not long, and I've just used this to use the frame to clamp this down. So I know that while it's clamped down there, it's nice and square, flat, because that top surface is flat, you know, flat enough for a trolley to put an engine on. So I thought I'd just show you that, because that's the first instance of it being useful, and having these angle iron flanges around it is good for clamping. Okay, I just thought I'd show you that. I'll do my little bit of welding then, and I'll bring you back when it's finished. Cheers then. Hello, there's the little engine cart upside down on a oil pan, a sump pan. This is a very rough one, which might never get used, but it's good enough for doing this job. I don't quite know what happened there. That would need a lot of attention if I ever try and use it. I doubt whether I will. It's a little bit rough. I've welded 4 little pieces of angle iron on. There. It's a bit dark, isn't it? There and there. I'm just going to flip this upside down so I can weld the other side, and that'll be job done. Simple little job, and this table has been pretty useful, to be honest. I like it. I'm pleased I did it. It was all made from scrap parts. Okay, back in a bit. Hello. Right, there's the finished job. Just welded. No sense in doing any titivating. It's just scrap stuff welded together to make an engine dolly. There's a little bit of taper on these so that it'd be easy to drop the motor in. These have got a little bit of taper. That one not much. That one a little bit more, just to suit the oil pan dropping down onto it. And when it's on there, the oil pan can't move. These things restrain it. Maybe I'll show you that. Hang on. So you can imagine this upside down. The drain plug will stop it moving forward. These will stop it moving back. That's it. Forward, back, and obviously side to side. And these extend far enough up to touch on the pan rail there. Those are on the pan rail. So I think that'll be okay. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Little welding job. The welding cart, welding frame, jig, table used for the first time. So once again, thank you very much for joining me in the garage. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.